But as we said, Maokai's up, Rumble's up. Not all the junglers are available. It really feels like the priorities are just a little different here today for these guys.
They will greet you as
And,
heroes.
we were talking about the jungle matchup as being our match to watch, our featured matchup of the game. And as you said, both junglers in Gragas and Rek'Sai are available. Both players have been pretty much just focusing on the Gragas. You look at it, 2 games from Amazing, 3 games from Kikis on that Gragas. I wonder whether Origin will look to take that away, because the only other champion that Kikis has played has been Nunu.
Well, we'll find out. Gragas has got that 100% pick and ban ratio, has featured in every single game of the European Summer Split with a 6 wins, 6 losses record.
Ryze is available at this point. Ryze was 100% pick ban
30
in last
seconds
week's
until minions
LCS.
spawn.
Now, Vizicachi was one of the Ryze players that we saw from week 2. I wonder whether, like Huni, he worked on something to go up against Ryze here, but certainly have to feel if Origin give this away, you saw how much damage Vizicachi was doing in that Unicorns of Love game last week.
Well, we'll see what they decide. They do not opt for the Ryze this time around, Stress. It is that Gragas that we've touched on. And as you highlighted as well, Huni ran the Cho'Gath into Ryze. It wasn't necessarily a hard counter, but he sustained and stayed alive well enough in lane to become impactful in the mid to late game. Thresh has been locked in for Hylissang.
Yeah, Thresh has been locked in, and Thresh has just unanimously been banned against Hylissang in just about every other game that they have played. Only one it was available, and he actually opted for, I believe it was the Morgana at the same time. So this is 2 very comfortable picks and very strong picks for the Unicorns, but I have a feeling this is looking to be that top lane fizz that we've seen in the LPL. We've seen it over in LCK as well, where you go Cinderhold with Slight from the top lane. You have a lot of damage and you have a lot of tankiness. Your ability to get into the back line is almost unparalleled.
Well, we'll find out if Soaz runs it, and also how he's going to perform on that champion. Soaz always performed better in my mind. Damage dealing top laners. And we will be seeing another flavor of team composition from Origin. This is another time they're pulling out a pick that you may not necessarily associate with the see how well they can perform with that. A lot of junglers still up for Kikis, as we've highlighted. He's run Nunu as his only other choice when Gragas wasn't available, and of course for Vlad maybe moving towards the
I expect Origin to go even more mobility when we come to their last picks, because we haven't seen Niels running Sivir yet. Kalista is what he's favoured, and they've gone instead to let Unicorns have the Kalista alongside them. So 2 very strong champions when it comes to the current meta. Rek'Sai has been picked and banned almost as much as Gragas, but Origin, they're going to fire back with less mobility, but a whole lot more catch and crowd control. Also, that bottom lane can go for the Righteous Glory, and now Orianna Shockwave on top of that is going to be very disruptive to the Unicorns.
We'll see whether or not Unicorns can deal with late game of Fizz and Orianna. I feel like that top lane is going to be a little bit slow out of the gates. However, we will see that Cassio here. So Power of Evil is stuck to his tried and true. Hawkmoor was not available. He's played Cassio. When he played Cassio last time, it was a strong victory. But Origin knew full well what he opted into Gragas' first pick and gave away that Ryze.
Origin are now looking to just completely disrupt Unicorns into skirmishes with this kind of setup. You look for somebody out on their own, you catch them using the and if Fizz can get into the back, he will absolutely wreak havoc. Over on the other side of the Unicorns, a very late game focused solo lane setup here with Ryze, with Cassio who's going to scale basically the same role for the lights here. There is a lot on Vlad in the mid game to get them through this game and give them the better late game.
Do not see that Ryze at the moment is building AP, is building very much burst, as you actually mentioned in your last week's Telestrator segment, Stress. Ryze and Cassio fulfill similar roles. I want to see how Vardex handles his positioning, because they do there's a lot of heal for him. So hopefully they can wave dangerous flags, scary enough to keep the rest of Origin off the road.
So, you know, honestly, the Unicorns are relatively skirmishes, so Origin are kind of giving Unicorns maybe a good opportunity to do that against them.
Well, there's the 2 team comps once again. Day 1, game 1, Echo has been banned. Jump onto Twitter, let us know. Will the Unicorns of Love hand Origin their first loss of the summer split? Or will the young upstarts, full of old dogs, go 5-0? That's what we're going to find out.
Well, Unicorns, every time that question is asked of them, is, can they do this? Can they do that? They always say yes. Themselves into the positions to take second place in the spring split. They've always felt comfortable with that.
Well, we'll see if they can do this time around. It does look like we have standard lane setups at least. Warding either team. We do see covering off the red buff. You see Miffy hanging out by the tribal.
Speaking of, this is the first time we've seen him on this Nautilus, but it goes very well with the style of champions he's played. He's played the Alistar, he's played the Thresh, and as a result, he's very active champions in teamfights. He granted Miffy the highest amount of assists for a support. He's currently sat on 68 assists. Now, to put that in perspective, that is higher than the entire assist pool of Gambit as a team. So I expect a lot out of Miffy from this game.
We need to see how Miffy handles. I'm really want to keep there'll be a lot of pressure affecting the team fights to land how well he can handle late game stage. Do you see Amazing in the jungle? And Gragas, of course. It is the only champion that retains 100% 21 KDA. Not the greatest skill participation. You know what? He doesn't need it because the team's 4-0.
Team are 4-0, and that makes this 100% win rate fairly cut and dry on that. So you can tell that Unicorns got with that draft, allowing the Gragas through. They had to know what they were dealing with. It was going to be a very high priority for Origin. So it is you know, it really is just a testament to the number of powerful champions that are available in the current patch. Cogboard not necessarily considered as strong as some of the others, but Azir went unpicked and considering how high priority it was, and Origin opted to ban one more over the likes of Cassio, over the likes of Rise, out of respect for Power. Yeah, we'll have to see how it did play. One thing I want to touch on, Origin initiating this late. Now, that's a little bit interesting when you take into account that one of the ways of dealing with Fizz as a solo lane, especially in the long lane, and at this point, yes, they want to avoid the Kalista and the Thresh a little bit, but now they're putting a lot on Soaz's back because Fizz is not going to be able to farm very easily in this kind of setup.
Well, I did see Soaz play Hecarim last week, the week before. I think he's got a pretty big, strong back to work with. We do see up and surprise, but we do see a mirror 4v0 in the top half of the map in favor of Origin. It is almost mirrored.
Yeah, Origin were fast as the launch on this one. Clearly a little behind the curve this kind of setup. Yes, they will be able to get damage done, but look, Origin already powered
Victory is forever.
Slow down this push though. They don't want to end up having the wave in a really awkward place when
we did see not only did Origin start the swap and start the 4v0, I feel the Unicorns of Love mirrored it relatively well. They responded within a few seconds and do seem to be of towers, keeping that global goal very even in a moment or two. Once Bardags, able to kill the tower, but it should go down if he sticks around.
Sivir is coming across and Vlad is coming through the jungle. So if Vardax goes for this, he puts himself in at least another tower shot. He has to back away and respect the fact that Origin beat them. And this is just purely down to the amount of time that Origin spent getting this set up for themselves. The Unicorns being able to make Vardax dangerous area.
Why are you face checking? Vardax gets caught by the dredge line. He's trying to come backwards. That was changed recently. Mithy decides not to flash forward. So, Vlad unable to take the tower. His gold is not even, and he's going to back with Niels and Mithy shoving in that bottom lane.
Yeah, now you've got to try and counteract the Sivir pushing, and anytime you step forward in that lane, take into account the look at where Hylissang has been at on the map. He's one of the more active supports when it comes to roam. He was always top lane, 11 vision on the way up there, so Origin know that they're totally down here, and they've basically done a very similar push here into this bottom lane at the same time. I think this is where you're trying to do it as well. The problem is, Peke is a player that's going to step in. He knows he's playing Orianna, and he just has to get himself through this.
Is the greatest lie of all.
Well, Kike says you will not get out of this safely. Does get a knock up, but Peke, come on, protect, actually mitigates almost all of that damage. Missing timing, that might be a better word. Vlad not taking that bottom tower, and noticing the way Sivir and Nautilus have between them. It's going to be such a long time for that bottom tower. As long as Origin plays the lane correct.
Yeah, there's only a minor timing out of the Unicorns of Love, and they will get that tower. Certainly this rise in the top lane could become an issue for Origin.
Got that tier stacking already, a very small tier. Not that it really matters, because Soa's got a very big minion to deal with. Power of Evil, small advantage in the middle lane. Niels, as is traditional, he's built himself up some CS. So did throw down that sounding spike, but didn't have the support of Amazing. That means that game is somewhat thwarted. In this instance, the big diver doesn't connect.
Not quite. The right
I am as timeless as
war. That's one thing that the reason the Thresh is banned away from it. Hylissang's shot supports tend to be very good. Where that much. She has shown that in lane it's very aggressive, but also the same support he goes to trade very well.
violence.
Intelligent, aggressive.
An ally has been slain.
Coming up to 7.5 minutes, the lanes have standardized. Just that one tower down and the duo down bottom. I want to see how Peke decides to build this Orianna. Got himself a chalice. We have actually seen Luden's Echo Oriannas coming out from the east. And we'll see whether or not Peke subscribes to the same as well, considering the fence has come out. It's not exactly top lane smite.
We may see it another reason, because anytime you pick Fizz, or generally yes, you've got to see it. Multiple lanes start getting pushed out Orianna and be able to go ahead and all the way. We'll look for that as we get later in.
I'm glad you bring that up though, because actually Unicorns of Love are relatively low range, risky wave clear as well. Unlike
An
similar
ally has been slain.
Rise, Callista. Kragus Barrel or Fizzle.
I mean, as long as the Unicorns play it smartly,
Warriors are born in
An
blood.
enemy has been slain.
Chachi
Your team has destroyed a
Pain is temporary. Victory.
Something else
Turn the tide.
So we've had a slow start to this, and this is something that we've not actually seen from Origin. They've been heading to the middle, all four of them.
They know
Your team has destroyed.
if the game continues, it's going to heavily benefit the Unicorn with this double tier composition. They want to stack.
He's been rooted in place by the Roopers, and Kikis has decided to fight. Jungle Waters comes up and Soaz manages to sidestep the knockup. Chachi that flashes for first blood.
I was kind of wondering how Origin were going to pressure this top side with the tower down. They were looking for Chachi to push forward, but it was Soaz that was aggressive, a little uncharacteristically aggressive into the enemy jungle, and good read by Unicorns. They catch him out easily.
Well, uncharacteristic for the team because Origin, that was the first time they've given up first blood. He's in trouble now as he's trading hook damage for hook damage. Illisang and Mithy both down 100%, but here comes Amazing. Teleport from Chachi's coming in. Illisang's already down. Illisang, he's in the way. Next one's across. Not Unicorn away, but Illisang set by. Origin replying in time. So as
This may Dragon Pit, or at least try and catch out Kikis if they're looking for it. So has actually dropped very low from that. You can see just how impressive this is. All he's going to do is start adding. It becomes a problem. The chain combo, the Rune Prison out of right, and then the hook from Illisang. If they can continue to do that, Origin are going to get slowed down.
They certainly can. Rise, of course, going to have a very, very quick cooldown on that Rune Prison. Illisang, definitely known for his ability to attack the bomb. So, 11 minutes, 1-1. That tower bomb still not falling from Origin. CS slightly in favor of Unicorns of Blood. Small advantage for Chachi, small advantage for Power of Evil. A small advantage for Niels in reply, but obviously that tower helping Origin keep going.
Of that small advantage for Power of Evil in the middle lane. I believe this is the first time we've ever really seen Power of Evil versus Exit, especially here in the LCS.
Surpass the frailty of your form.
X-Pac is going out to the Wraiths and Raptors. More action in. Just saw Mithy kind of fly across the minimap with anything off the field.
Well, you mentioned the Echo versus Power of Evil. We'll need to touch on that in a second. Kikis is knocked up Amazing and put a lot of damage in reply. Body slam into block, there comes attack and shockwave from Peke. He's chasing down Kikis. Red buff is available. Amazing has no flash. The body slam goes forward. The throw him away. I think unexpected. Kikis survives. Amazing is now brought down to Power of Evil. Flashes for the poison power kill.
Power of Evil was second to Rome in that situation, but he still has more impact just because he's managed to get his tunnel working for him. So he gets himself all of the way out of that. Now Peke might be in a little bit of trouble. No ultimate from Power, but if they get a Rune Prison before Peke gets there, which they can't quite do. Good reaction by Origin overall. They know Unicorns desperately want that much power. That tower advantage up. Kikis has joined the party on the wrong side though. The knockup.
Well, he finds the knockup, he gets the furious bite down and Peke forces that. So what has this from potentially top the
An enemy has been slain.
Soaz, he wants to land a nom-nom finish.
Surpass the frailty of your form.
This could work out. It's the death Soaz made famous years ago. Here comes Amazing, no explosive cost. Soaz, he lands the Chumble Waters. Oh, hasn't even used it right. Playful trickster. Doesn't even have Chumble Waters available. Going to carry on running Illisang down. Play goes away. For a target, but they've got a ward in the bush. Backwards. Amazing with the prediction shot. 2 more kills to Origin and they start off Dragon.
Dragon swipes its wings. That was just Unicorns overstaying in the bottom lane. I don't actually know why they do that. You lose your mid down, you don't have more damage, yet you stand in front of the tower and just allow Origin to get a very easy
An
flank.
enemy has been slain.
And now they're catching Power.
While Power's in trouble, Power is down. Dragon was secured. You can see the number of average dragons across the board. Slightly slower for Origin, but neither of teams this split have been able to secure that. So we're back to the 1,000 advantage in favor of the newest challenger from the oldest players in the LCS.
Got 3 game, what they've done so well is everything they've given them, they've made sure they take twice as much within the next 2 minutes.
An ally has been
They give up
slain.
a kill or two in the top lane, and they know that Paragon flashes down, they recapitalize on the ultimate as well. And it's something that they do very well. This is the first time, as you said, they were it doesn't look like it's
Definitely not. And Crepper was actually talking about Origin earlier today on preview of the matches. He highlighted how he felt Origin just had such great macro-level decision-making when looking at the bigger picture. Looking at the entire map, despite Origin giving up a flurry of kills, but you need to keep an eye on those CSUs, right? Soaz is continuing to all-time rise, which is a terrifying statement. But luckily for them, Niels has got a solid advantage over Bardax, and we'll see if Niels can buffer Soaz's
Victory is forever.
The question is, how does this lead translate as you go later into the game and it starts expanding into team fights? Because we know what Ryze can do, we've seen what this can do in other leagues. It's about getting a teleport behind him and using his mobility to back as well. You can see that Soaz is actually down in the bottom lane because he has teleport available. Chachi does as well, but she's actually
Warriors are born in blood.
So it's kind of this moment where it's all about wave control. You've got to set up the next
Let's see whether or not Soaz can teleport out. I was hiding! Minutes on the clock. Two Cinderholms on the
They will
side.
greet you as heroes.
Slightly less damage in those team fights as it was changed a couple patches ago, but they stand toe to toe.
although Soaz, while he will his ultimate
Greatest liar.
it's weird to think level assassin style champion, but certainly his
Elegance.
Sorry, stress. The game has slowed down just a little bit.
Your team has destroyed an
Getting
inhibitor.
close to 20 minutes, and Origin coming into this
Surpass
week and actually
the
built themselves an
frailty of your
average
form.
4.1 thousand gold lead over their opponents. They're currently sitting just over 2,000. So we'll need to see whether or not they can accelerate that just a little more. Fans at home definitely feeling Origin have the advantage. Just a little less than before the teams they faced.
Yeah, I mean, there's still about a minute and a half to go, so that any